Hi, my name's Kid Rock, and live from New York. It's Saturday night.
You are a liar. Because it's not live. You're not in Kid Rock. And we're recording this on a Thursday.
We're also not in New York.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
But anyway, as always, I am your host Treble,
And I'm Bass.
the co-host.
Yeah, well,
I'm throwing Co in front of your name,
not yours.
and
okay.
as always, we are coming to you live.
Again, it's recorded.
But we have another special guest. You know him, you love him.
He's already
From
been
our
here.
second video, Viola.
What up? It's Viola, formerly known as Treble.
No, you were never Treble.
You were formerly known as Cello.
Oh, cello, not treble.
I'm
Cello.
Treble.
Cello. But now I'm Viola.
You should be like Cello. I'm Viola. I play the violin.
Confuse them.
Yeah, just
Get
throw
on
them.
their
Throw
toes.
them. I'll throw a huge
Yeah.
loop.
Mad loops. Alright, so for this pod, it's going to be a shorter pod. Talking about the bands that we're currently listening to. And, just giving some info on them. So, Treble, who are you listening to?
I'm actually not gonna start us off. Let's give it to the guest. Ladies
All right.
first.
Who you bumping, Viola?
What up? Or no, cello. It's Viola.
And
There
you
you
play the
go.
violin.
And I play the violin, but I actually played the viola. So get you back straight. Alright, so last pod we talked about Tetsuo and Youth Lupe Fiasco. Of course, I've been listening to that one for the past couple months, ever since it came out. What I want to talk about now is To Pimp a Butterfly. Been listening to that for about almost 2 weeks now.
I've heard it. Two
And
songs.
Wait, are you Treble?
I'm bass.
Bass has listened to only 2 songs. Yeah, we just introduced him to that, but
It's pretty good.
I listened to it too, like the whole thing, but it's not something for us.
No, we can talk about the music
For you?
part.
Yeah.
We can't talk about
It's-
the meaning. Yeah, the meaning's not for us, but we can talk about the music.
Yeah, it's like in the light of all everything that came out, with Ferguson, and he actually started the idea of it after
And we're gonna talk
after
about it
Zimmerman,
anyway.
and like it's just not for us. It's like it's a dark album for dark times for like the African American community.
Yeah, so we're
I-
gonna
I
talk
def-
about music.
definitely agree.
Music's
Uh,
politics.
First listen through, it's not the same as Good Kid, Mad City. Mad City had a lot of radio beats with like sound lyrics and nice hooks,
From
which
what
is
I've heard,
great. I loved it. But this one's different. It has less of those catchy hooks, less popular beats. But if you give it a third, a fourth, a fifth listen to, everything grows on you. I tell you, like the first time I listened to, I was like kind of partial on it. Now I'm really starting to like it more and more every time I listen to it. Right, like they were saying, like the meaning. I'm starting to grasp what he's talking about, and I've read articles about what inspired him to say these things. And it's tough to touch on those things, but from a musical standpoint, he's evolved from Good Kid, Mad City quite a bit. This one, I think he has even a little more direction. It's very pointed, and I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to think about things, who wants to, have a good, it's really a complete album. It's one that you can listen through, and you kind of have to listen through. If you just pick out songs here and there, there's certain songs that are good, but it's a continuous thing. Especially, he links up almost every song with a poem. There's a poem that he kind of starts and then adds on to at the end of each song. And also, the ending is really cool, with Tupac making a guest appearance, which is, you're like, how that happened? But he makes it sound really cool, and I'll just leave it to you to figure out.
Yeah, it's from the 2 songs I heard, it sounds pretty good. From what I heard from other people, he has a lot of jazz musicians sit in for it.
Yeah, true.
And that intrigues me because I like jazz music. So
Different sound than Mad City, like I said.
which I didn't hear. I don't know it. So
Alright, well, that's another one to put on your listen to list.
all right, I will definitely do that. All right, Treble, who you listen to?
Talk about he.
All right, well, I've been listening to a lot of Pierce the Veil. They're fantastic, fantastic band. I've been listening to their two more popular albums, Selfish Machines and Collide with the Sky. Both albums at times do get a little dark. But all in all, it's a lot of fun to listen to. Their lyrics are incredible, which is one of my favorite parts of listening to music, is listening to the lyrics. And I've also been listening to a lot of Pretty Reckless, which I always listen to them. They're one of my favorite bands to listen to. They're guys are eating the loudest food you could possibly eat.
No, I don't have a matzah in here.
That's all I brought.
Just eating pumpkin seeds.
I thought it was bunny food when I first reached in.
But yeah, a lot of Pretty Reckless as well.
Yeah, those are good.
Heavier music, real good.
You should try one.
Okay.
Base.
Grab
For
yourself
the first time, for the real time.
a pumpkin seed, you know.
Ah, they're pretty good.
A small handful.
Oh yeah, they're really good.
They're
There's a lot.
salted, a little roasted, you know.
I used to cook pumpkin seeds like after we would carve our pumpkins, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of garlic, a little bit of pepper, well, a little bit more pepper than anything else, and then a little bit of salt. So good.
I'm going to throw in a little plug here for Premium Orchard. Did you know 1/4 cup of pumpkin seed kernels contains a good source of magnesium, iron, zinc, protein, and phytosterols, which are good fats, and they lower your LDL. So if you're,
What's LDL?
it's the good kind of cholesterol, you know.
Why do you want your good kind of cholesterol lowered?
Honestly, I have no idea. I read it off the package, so they must be telling the truth. So once again, Premium Orchard, their like little catchphrase is, "It's the place to be. Pumpkin seeds, eat them."
All right, well, last little bit here. I'm gonna throw out a few tracks people should listen to. My favorite tracks on Collide with the Sky: A Match into Water, Bulls in the Bronx, and 100 Sleepless Nights, and off Selfish Machines,
Jeez, talk about an insomniac.
Bulletproof Love, Paraphernalia, Disasterology, and A New National Anthem. Real good songs. Definitely check them out. Who are you listening to, Treble? And trying to dodge the question the whole pod.
Yeah, I feel like he's.
Been listening to a lot of Katy Perry.
Really?
No, not at all. Been listening to a lot of reggae, Dirty Head. It's my normal lineup. I'm not really trying to listen to anything new right now, even though I should be. But I'm just
What kind of reggae? Who we got?
well, like no one really cares who we're listening to, like, because for me, there's something bigger in music right now, and it's just like how much that music programs and like the arts are getting cut from schools, and like I can understand like why some schools are easy to do it because they have programs afterwards, but it's discouraging creativity. And I don't know, it's just something that's been like bugging me because there was a headline that came up, and it's like the national average in the past year is schools got cut, their music and arts programs got cut 20.6%.
So wait, when I asked you what did you want to talk about on the pod, and you said nothing. I just,
Well, I
He's
didn't.
popping the trunk a little
yeah,
bit.
you guys
you
are
know.
popping the trunk.
It's like-
but, like
Well, no, like if we're planning this shit out, like I just read the headline, but when we're planning it out, it's not coming from the heart, you know. Like everything we're talking about, it's like, oh, we already kind of gave some thought into it, and it's just something that's like, if I brought this, like I'm bringing it up now, I almost had to sneak it in there, because like I do have a set agenda in my head on shit I want to talk about, but it's not scripted. It's just off the book. Pop in the trunk, really. And, you know, when we're throwing it in there, like, oh, here's what we want to talk about, it's like giving me time to almost script it in my head, and I don't like coming from that. But back to the point I'm trying to make is like
I'm over here like
it's like the arts the arts are getting cut, and it's not a good thing. Like there's so much stuff that art does for kids' development. I remember looking at this for a paper a couple years ago, and it's boosting people's IQ. They become better test takers. Kids who have a music program, like a good solid music program, to put them in, they become more creative, more open-minded. They have better spatial temporal awareness almost, where, and that's like it's a big thing in music and a big thing in math too. It's something that you can it pretty much helps you notice stuff and how things fit into one another. So math, it's letting you go from like, oh, we're using this subject to talk about this subject, and we're bringing them both up. So it doesn't make people better musicians, and it's not leading to like more musicians or a dumber society or anything. If anything, it's leading to better people who are better at their jobs in whatever field they want to go into. Like history gives you a better background and acceptability for people. If you're going into anything in politics, it's just making you more aware and stuff like that. Math, I'm just talking about the spatial temporal awareness, how everything fits together. And I mean, obviously, if you want to become a musician, it's giving you that plug. And it's not easy to become a musician. You have to be really good at what you're doing. You got to have a lot of heart going into it.
Trust me, I know.
If you're trying to figure it out on your own, like a lot of people are stuck to do, they don't have this out. The only out is like, it's almost rap, but you have to have almost a natural ability to do rap, which every rapper that I've really listened to has. But anything else, you're not really getting to plug that or practice that, but you're just going to school and you're sitting in class and you're dozing off, getting bored. You don't have anything to look forward to at the end of the day except going home, taking a nap, then strumming your guitar, playing Rock Band, or playing the drums that your mom made you put out in the garage because they were going to be too loud to have in the house. But I didn't call anyone out there. I don't think, at least. I don't know if you had drums.
No,
I didn't. My parents absolutely refused. But like, fucking kids are playing the most ugly sounding recorder in grade school, and they're not really getting the chance to expand. Like in third grade, I got the chance to expand to play the violin. I really wanted to learn how to play the violin, but my mom said no. So 2 years passed, and I was like, hey, Mom, I really want to learn to play an instrument. Here are the list of instruments. These are the 3 I'm thinking of. Still had violin on there. I had a trumpet on there, and I had the saxophone on there. So I ended up learning to play the trumpet, which I ended up quitting because, you know, just thinking about middle school, I'm like, oh, playing the trumpet's not going to help me at all or anything. And it's actually my biggest regret going into middle school and not playing the trumpet. Like, I was leaving 6th grade as a great trumpet player because I had somebody who played trumpet professionally teaching me at our school, and it was awesome because we were connected on this level, and I was learning stuff, and I learned it pretty quickly, but then I give it up for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I mean, I think personally that it did help me, and I think everybody should play an instrument and encourage people to play an instrument, but stick to it, and you know, because if you're not doing it, you're losing so much ground. And if we look at other countries like China, people that get accepted into universities in China that are like up there, like Pyongyang University is one of the best universities over there. This girl had a 4.0 GPA, which is the highest you can get in China high schools. She did dance and she played 3 instruments and she still didn't get in because there's such a high want for people who can do everything over there because it gives you so much background to different things. And when you have everybody who's kind of the same, like, oh, I played 1 instrument, I did these activities, it's might as well putting your hand into a hat and pulling out names. But when you got people who come from this different background, like you see somebody who's playing trumpet and drums versus somebody who's playing guitar and the cello, for example, it's like, oh, wow, we got these 2 very talented individuals in each of their own facets. And this guy wants to come here for accounting. Like, what the hell? Versus this guy who wants to come here for, like, sports admin. You have so much more variety to choose from, and it's helping people shape their own futures.
Okay. All right, yeah. I mean, as someone who taught themselves how to play 2 instruments, granted, guitar and bass are very similar. Yeah, I taught myself. I started playing guitar in the summer between 5th and 6th grade, and then
like, sorry to cut in here, but how much better would it have been if like you could have been in your school's band with somebody teaching you?
well, I did. Well, they didn't offer guitar like as a band instrument, and I either wanted to play the drums, the guitar, or the bass. My parents steered me toward guitar because drums are expensive.
And you could get made. Just gotta learn Wonderwall. Drums, like what
Which
are you gonna sit
I
up
did.
there? You're just gonna sit up there in drums and do the Phil Collins in the Air Tonight solo.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's how it actually goes. It's probably not.
It's very it's pretty good.
Nice. Because that's not gonna get you laid.
It might.
You can sing.
You know what it might.
Being in a band in general, but so yeah, I taught myself how to play 2 instruments. I mean, I'm not stellar by any means. I didn't learn like in a band. I can't read music. Most of the benefits of learning to play an instrument, I didn't get because I was like, oh.
Did you have to play the recorder in elementary school?
No, actually, ironically, we played guitar for.
Really?
Yeah, we played guitar for 3 weeks.
I remember in our one middle school class, I had to learn guitar.
Which class?
It was one of the music classes with Peter Griffin. I'm trying to give you a hint on to what this man looks like.
Oh.
Yeah,
right. Okay. I know. I figured it up now.
I was actually paired with.
All right.
Shit.
He's really good though.
He
good.
is.
I played with him one time.
Yeah, just leave it out. I don't know.
Yeah. I played with him one time at the. Do you remember when we had that one day where we played protest songs from the '60s?
The old tech teacher who was volunteering at the time.
Oh yeah, he sang that one song.
What song did he sing?
I forget what song he sang, but it was fantastic. But I played Ohio by
of course.
Yeah, you know. Then I played I forget what other song I played. It was 9th grade. I don't remember. And I played in a choir concert. Ironically, I was a very, very, very bad singer, but I did choir, and
it wasn't that hard to make the select choir though.
I didn't even try out.
The next tier of select choir though is like the best of the best.
Yeah, and but I had to play "Help" by the Beatles with him and another guitarist in our school.
Yep. We just had to play Yankee Doodle.
When we played I will not forget that in 5th grade guitar week, I learned how to play
Hot Cross Buns.
Iron Man,
Sick.
Smoke on the Water.
Iron Man seems hard though.
I didn't learn how to play like the power chord version. I learned how to play the single note version, and it was simplified. Yeah, that was pretty much it. I was one of the 4 people in the class that learned how to play it, and that teacher recommended that I actually learn how to play the guitar, which was another reason that I ended up picking guitar.
When you put 12 in your mouth at a time, it kind of tastes like popcorn.
We're talking about the pumpkin seeds again, by the way, in case.
We'll bring the recording equipment. You bring the snacks.
Yeah, seriously.
I got dried bananas.
You dried bananas? I can't.
Chips.
I
Dried
can't
banana
stand
chips.
those.
So good.
Too sweet. I love bananas too. I love bananas, but I can't stand banana chips.
Do you like bananas in your mouth?
I mean, that's how
What
I
are
eat them.
you, a gay banana?
Nailed it.
I need
what
a
else
gay
I
fish.
now.
I mean,
That was a great episode of South Park.
It was.
That made me laugh really, really hard. Viola, do you have anything to weigh in on the subject?
Yeah.
You play the viola.
Yeah. Actually, I have an immense amount of input. So I grew up, and 1 through 8 grades I went to.
I thought you were gonna say I started learning the viola when I was 1.
No, in 1 through 8 I went through to a school called a Waldorf school. It's very rare.
That sounds so
high class.
so classy.
It's kind of more like I'd say
Art
hippie.
school?
It's hippie. Yeah, it's very arts based. So
Our
pretty
school
much
was named after the street it was
my
on.
mom was a teacher there, and I got to learn pretty much every recorder, all the flutes, alto, bass, treble,
A lot of things have happened in your mom's classroom.
viola. Wow. And so I learned all these instruments. And the school, like every morning we start and we'd sing a couple songs, recite poems, then play our instruments. And that was
That's actually really cool.
it was the structure, yeah. And then I went to high school and I dropped all that stuff. Mainly because, I mean, looking back, I kind of wish I kind of kept up with some of that stuff. I continued playing viola. I continued playing viola in the county orchestra, which was
Now,
fun.
did you start playing the viola when you were in first grade?
Third grade.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
when I would have started too.
Yeah.
But I wanted to play. I actually wanted to play the cello, not the violin.
Cello was cool. But yeah,
I didn't want to have to hold it up the entire time.
Yeah.
I just
It's a little annoying. But I chose to drop a lot of those things, and but like, I mean, it wasn't meant to be. Like, honestly, I was not too interested in that stuff, and looking back, I don't really care. But I'm certainly aware that it did help me in many ways.
as a yeah, I can say your major as a
Yeah.
physics major. How do you think it helped you
Honestly, like, I have a different approach than many other people. Whether it be
in your
because
physics class? Like,
yeah,
like I'm assuming some people are just coming like the way almost I would. All right, here's the formula. This is straight up what I have to do.
right. So, for instance, my one friend, she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I won't say names, but she came through and she was taking calc freshman year of high school. She had already finished like calc at 2A and B. She was in AP Physics and all that stuff. I went to high school. I took calc my final year. I had one physics class, but we're able to do all the same stuff, and everything we do differently. I attribute it to like, even though I was coming in 8th grade, I had barely learned much math at all. Like, I learned basic stuff, algebra I was sufficient at, but I contributed to that school and being like a very different approach to how things work. And then I get to talk to my dad, and my dad's a 3rd grade teacher at
We don't have to say the school.
yeah, I'm not saying like it's a public school.
Public school, yeah. Don't say public school. Like Waldorf's private, right?
Yeah. It's a public school, so it's different. And he gets my mom, who's a teacher at this Waldorf school, they have totally different lives. Like, you can imagine, like they're both 3rd grade teachers right now, but they have completely different experiences.
Yeah.
My dad is so frustrated because he has to give these little kids homework every day. He has to jam stuff down their throats. Oh, that kind of sounds weird, but like he has to like jam concepts and like grammar, math, all this stuff, and they have to pass these tests so that their school stays open, their school gets funded, and he thinks that's silly. Like at that school that I grew up in, we didn't take tests until maybe like 7th, 8th grade. Like, I never was tested. Did that affect me in a negative way? I don't know, but these little kids, for sure, I don't think need to be tested by a state, like, just to get funding for their school. So, I've heard a few things about it, and I definitely would frustrating seeing this stuff get cut.
You said my name.
Treble! That's treble!
I'm definitely keeping that.
I finally got name dropped.
Yeah, it's about time, man.
That's 2 Dickadioons.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said a friend of our name. Name of.
No, I mean, like...
Oh, you didn't listen to the podcast?
No, I did.
Okay, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
sound.
What did I say? I was talking about big dick porn.
Yeah.
Fine.
It caught me off guard the first time I heard it. I was like, what the hell?
You're like, what the fuck? Is there a duck in my room?
It was like echoed or something.
And then you're like, shit, ducks make a quack.
What was I gonna say about oh yeah, I went to a granted this is kind of weird because I'm comparing kindergarten and 1st grade in a private school to 2nd grade.
Well, I went K through 3.
Well,
1 through 3.
mine went 1 through 8, but I moved, so that's why. And then once it was weird because like once when I used to live in Columbus, the public schools were not very good, and so kids went to private schools to get a better education, and then came here, or to Doylestown or whatever, and that's when we've already said we're from there like 30 times already.
Have we?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I also say I'm going back home to see a band called Amora, and they're very.
That's
like,
true.
Um,
They have three
but-
schools to choose from
yeah.
now.
So when I. So when I came back, or when we came there, it was like, oh, so the public schools are as good, if not better, than the private ones. So we'll just do that. It was very, very weird. So I went from having like the structure of, having to wear a uniform every day, and granted, I wasn't old enough to have to learn how to play an
Oh
instrument.
my god,
or
the
anything.
reason I'm so good at tying ties is because of the private school I went to in first, second, and third grade.
I don't know how to tie.
Ass.
Should we go into that Friday?
At all. We didn't have to wear ties. We had to wear polos.
We had options, but I opted for the tie every day. I opted for the nicer look. Like, even in the summer, I would have a long sleeve shirt on with a tie, and we had a yellow shirt with, like, green vest and a green tie. I look like a fucking pimp.
We just
I was
had,
pimping it out.
we had a white polo with blue pants, either a khaki type and or corduroys if you wanted to. And on gym days, we had to wear like a gray t-shirt and red shorts.
We had gym. We had gym twice a week.
So did we.
You ain't got it.
But only the school provided stuff for us to wear. But there was every other Friday we could pay $1 and wear street clothes. My mom always gave me $1 to go in with street clothes, and
That's funny.
I would leave after her to catch the bus. I'd always stash the $1 away and just go in with my normal shit on.
Yeah, I would like I was like weird when I moved. I was like, wait, I don't have to wear a uniform. I can just wear whatever I want. So of course I had possibly the greatest jersey collection of all time.
So, do we still want to talk more? Because we can make this a two-parter.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I'll make it 2-parter.